久しぶりだな、源氏。
Well, hello everyone, my name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Umineko When They Cry, Episode 2. And what a strange situation we have found ourselves in. Beatrice, the 19th individual that we have been, I guess, questioning ourselves about throughout all of Episode 1, is just here. She's present. She's real. She's physical. She's speaking with people. And I don't know how to feel about it. I jokingly said that she basically just made herself as an insert character, as Beatrice and Battler look on from the tea party room of where we left off in episode 1 at the very end, which may not be too far from the truth. I have no idea. Nevertheless, as confused as I am, we just gotta roll with it. Beatrice is here, and it's going to be very interesting to see how her presence here is going to shake up everything.
老いたではないか。
どれほどに老いようとも、家具は家具らしく。
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
最後までお務めを果たすのみでございます。
あれの妻がお前に嫉妬したことも懐かしい。
Wait, really?
金蔵は元気か？
大変お元気にございます。
The witch probably laughed because she knew Kinzo's own doctor had announced that Kinzo didn't have long to live. However, if anyone actually looked at Kinzo and noticed his vigor, which wasn't at all what you would expect from someone nearing the end of his life, they might easily call that doing extremely well. Maybe that's what the witch was laughing at. I mean, I'm surprised he's still around.
30年ぶりに互いに呪いの言葉を吐き合うもよかろう。
As the witch grinned, she started walking, leaving Genji behind. Her gait was like that of a family member who knew the inside of the mansion well. Genji followed her in the manner of one who served her. This is so difficult to comprehend. Like, I've got a lot of questions. I want to throw them in the back of my head because it probably doesn't matter. But what is the purpose of having Beatrice as a quote-unquote insert character here? What will be proved to us now that she's actually here? Are people still going to die now that they know the existence of a 19th person? I did not read that at that time. Kirie came out of the parlor and she had probably gone out to fix her makeup or something. And when she saw Genji following a witch, well, she was surprised, although her expression did not change. A guest for Kinzo had arrived, despite him being almost dead on the day of the family conference when the fate of the inheritance was to be decided. And furthermore, this person was familiar enough with the Ushiromiya family household that Genji was following behind her. Kirie immediately realized that this person that she had never met before was deeply important. Kirie and the witch's eyes met. Realizing that it would be rude to pretend not to notice, she greeted the witch.
はじめまして。ルドルフの5歳だったか。
さようでございます。ルドルフ様の今の奥方様であられます。
From this exchange, Kirie realized that this was a guest of fairly high rank, even amidst the Ushiromiya family. And the fact that this was a guest on that level, coupled with her resemblance to the portrait in the entrance hall, made Kirie's eyes instantly open wide. Yeah, everything starts to really connect here, huh? Like, wowzers. I'd be stunned, honestly. Interesting. Very interesting. Why did... Huh? I guess, you know, in the head, you know, connect the dots or whatever.
キリエと申します。初対面でしょうか。もし以前に挨拶をしていたなら、名前を忘れてしまって申し訳ございません。
うすうすは想像がついているくせに、わらわにあえて名乗らそうというのか。
I do that all the time. I'm honestly so much better with faces than I am with names. Or I might know a name, but I might not be able to connect it to a face. So I do that like, oh man, what was your name again? Sort of, whatever excuse. Somebody that I used to work with actually told me, what was your name? And I think they, I don't know how he said it. Basically, I think he would ask, what was your last name? They'd say the last name. He's like, oh, I mean your first name. But I don't think that would work out, honestly. But no, I suck with names. I think it's kind of common for people to struggle at times. I take no offense to it if somebody forgets me. I might joke about it. Kirie thought that she had given a sociable and humble greeting. Her expression grew slightly cloudy at the openly oppressive response. At any rate, this didn't seem to be a person she could grow to like. But if Kirie's guesses were correct, this witch probably held a vital key to what her own husband was most interested in, something that couldn't help but influence tonight's family conference. So without shooting back a retort, Kirie silently watched her go up the stairs to the second floor, with Genji following behind. Here's my prediction here. Here is my prediction for episode 2. Beatrice is an insert character. Kanon and Shannon through episode 1, which I'm going to assume was the, I guess the more, I don't know what I can call it, the more serious and literal story. Even so, there's still a lot of mysteries to behold there. I'm going to say here in episode 2, this is a what if. What if she was here? What if she had interacted with Kanon and Shonen? Her actually interacting with them would explain a few things, mainly that little shrine being, not there anymore, because the item that was there was broken and therefore the shrine was able to be wiped away. No more issue. That kind of worked out for Beatrice, right? So let's say that she wasn't supposed to exist, but now she does. And that is working in a way to try and explain things to win her case over Battler. That is my prediction. So when someone tapped her shoulder from behind, she was so surprised she almost choked. It was Natsuhi.
キリエさん、このようなところに立ち尽くしていかがなさいましたか？
ごめんなさい。ちょっと魔女の肖像画に見とれていただけです。
黄金の魔女、ベアトリーチェですか。
Oh, who would not be interested in such a character?
今日の後宮家の復興は、彼女が授けた黄金がなければ成し遂げられなかったとか。お父様らしい幻想的なお話ですね。
Natsuhi spoke in a perfectly ordinary way. It was the sort of comment you would expect from someone convinced that the thought of a witch existing was ridiculous, no more than another of Kinzo's ramblings. However, for some reason, that point of view didn't seem quite right to Kirie now. Just a moment ago, she herself had seen the Golden Witch come in from the entrance hall and climb up the stairs. So Natsuhi's words made it feel as though someone was trying to deny the existence of that person, or else make it seem like she was never there to begin with.
ごめんなさい。少し頭痛がする気がして。
Uh-oh.
ちょっと休もうと思います。
あら、そうですか？
Headaches seem to be very, common around here.
なら、良い頭痛薬がありますよ。
I'd hope you would.
用意させましょう。
Of course, she has headache medicine. Tylenol up the ass, or aspirin maybe. Or some illegal drug. I don't know. These people are rich. They can get their hands on anything effective. And the hallway in front of Kinzo's study was filled with the scent of sweet poison, peculiar to that green liquor. Genji, who was completely used to it, did not grimace. And the Golden Witch didn't grimace either.
この中からどれほど出ぬのか。
すでに数年になるかと思います。
God damn, man.
文字通り亡霊となっても研究を続けられるでしょう。
What a lovely conversation to have right outside his fucking room.
愛か
I'm like, the door is right there,
狂
buddy.
気かそれも講じれば魔力となるか。悲しき魔術師よ。
The witch grasped the doorknob to the study. Oh. When she did, there was a sound like that of flesh burning and splitting open. It was the sound of the doorknob literally burning the witch's hand.
ベアトリーチェ様。
なんだこれは。魔除けか。あやつめ。こんなものに頼らなければ、おのがみも保てぬというのか。
That's right, yeah, this whole room protected the gang, to a degree, in the first episode.
その扉は、ベアトリーチェ様にはおつらいものと伺っております。私がお開けいたしましょうか。
いや、よい。あやつが勝てば、わらわは永遠の籠の鳥。あやつが負ければ、愛に狂い、すべてを失った哀れな魔術師の生涯が、笑い草となって残るだけ。
Yeah, mad with love. Again,
もはや金像
I
も
argue
わ
that's
ら
more
わさえ
of obsession,
ゲーム
but
版に並べられた駒にす
what
る
can I say?
あとは、ルーレットの目が勝敗を開けるだけよ。ルーレットが目を見せるまで。わらわと金蔵が再会する必要はない。
God damn, episode 1 was all about chess. Episode 2, it's fucking gambling in a roulette table. I did a little bit of that when I was in Vegas, and you bet your ass I lost. The witch looked at her hand, which was beginning to heal bit by bit, even though it had been horribly burned.
あるいは、すべての生涯を投げ出したローマ術師の最後のギャンブ
How
ル。
soundproofed is that goddamn
そ
room?
の散りざまを楽しませてもらうぞ。
He's not hearing any of this, apparently. No, people have definitely shouted at Kinzo from beyond this door. So that's a little bit of a weird one. 1 p.m. Lunchtime? Are we past lunchtime?
誰か。
失礼いたします。昼食をお持ちいたしました。
入れ。
失礼いたします。
This is interesting. I wonder how this is all going to tie into events if, we're going to believe or go along with my prediction here. Let's say she's an insert character to a degree, not to necessarily change the story, but to make the story that we saw in episode 1 make a little bit more sense. That or change the story. Fuck if I know. After receiving approval, Konun entered the VIP room, pushing the serving cart that carried lunch. The servants called this room the Witch's VIP room, and that was because Kinzo strictly ordered that it always be kept clean so that it could be used at any time. Even so, guests would not be allowed into this room no matter who they were. That's why at some point, the servants had started calling it the VIP room, which was supposed to be set aside only to welcome the special person Kinzo waited for, the witch from that portrait. And today, Konun realized that this was absolutely true. Well, I mean, he's, this is quite the room. But no, I mean, he's met with her before. He knows this is her. When he entered the room, the blonde-haired witch was gazing out the window. Outside, the rain was no longer falling weakly. As she looked out at the beautiful rose garden, which had been tended to over several days for today's sake, as she saw the winds and rain ravage it, was she struck by some sentimental feelings? Konun was not able to tell anything more from her back, which faced him.
お食事の用意をさせていただきます。ベアトリーチェ様。
Konun went out of his way to call out the witch's name, hoping that she'd turn around. He wanted to know. He wanted to know if the witch who had tempted him and Shunun in the past had really appeared again. When he did, the witch whose name had been called laughed, her back still facing him. Holding back her voice, she laughed. Konun was startled. It was almost as though she had read his mind and knew that he had called out to her, hoping to make her turn around.
良い匂いだな。どうやらクラウスは良い料理人を入れたと見える。
はい。近年入ったゴーダという料理人です。
Yeah, he's always looking for those brownie points.
料理の腕が良きことは何にも勝るものよ。
Yeah, that's something I need to work on.
美食は人の世で生きる快楽の山中をなす。千年を飽きぬにはこれを欠かさぬが秘訣よ。
Konun and the witch's eyes met. Then she grinned. Without a doubt. Certainly. This was clearly the witch from that day. Beatrice, just with a completely different outfit. I don't know if that was like to try and fit in, look a little bit more modern, I don't know. The witch that no one but he and Shunun could see in the past finally held a form, and had arrived openly as a guest through the entrance hall.
Beatrice-sama.
Stunned a little bit there,
久し
Kanun?
ぶりよの家具のか
Damn, he's at a loss for words here, taken aback. Kanun tried to remember to be polite to this guest for the time being, but the visit of this suspicious witch made dark clouds start to enshroud his heart, especially considering that today was the family conference.
何をしに現れたのかと気が気でならぬと見える。そうであろう。
Oh, I'm sure we all have some ideas, especially Kanun. But he did not force an answer. This witch probably reads minds, so it is pointless to go to the trouble of saying it out loud. Of course, she could read even his inner resistance. So the witch giggled at Kanun's childish defiance. How much can a person laugh in one day?
金蔵との最後の約束を果たしに来た。
親方様との最後の約束。
わらわは金蔵に山をなす黄金を貸し付けた。
You know, as the good old riddle goes.
それを金蔵が放棄するとき、わらわは利子をつけて返却を受けることになっておる。今宵、それをもらい受けに来た。
And that ties in with that letter we got.
僕には何の話かわかりません。
However, uncertainty began to gather in his heart. Whatever this witch had to say, it couldn't be anything good.
しかし、金蔵も食えぬ。
Is that the best way to describe him?
わらわの利子の取り立てすらも自らの儀式に取り込みおった。わらわをも超えるとてつもない大魔術師か。さもなければ狂気に取りつかれたただの知れ者か。
I'd probably say the latter.
面白い。実に面白い。
Kanun couldn't guess what the witch was muttering and laughing about. All he knew was that anything that made this witch laugh must have the exact opposite meaning for everyone else. And in the back of his mind, the horrifying words the witch had spat at him in the past began to resurface. What? Did you think I'd lend you my power and ask for nothing in exchange? I'll gladly assist a pair in love, and in exchange I'll enjoy watching the cruel fate they will eventually meet. Why didn't I pick up on that? I mean, it's obvious, but I have never come across a better show, not over the course of 1,000 years. Like, I don't know if that could be talking about how they will literally be split between life and death, or if something else is going to happen. But we know something's going to happen.
まさかお前は
That's all she does. Like 50% of her lines are cackling or whatever else her laughter is.
故郷を貫く鮎の川、黄金鏡を目指す者よ。これを下りて鍵を探せ。
Well, I mean, we've heard the Golden Land, title a few times, especially from Maria. The witch suddenly began to recite a bizarre poem. It was something he remembered hearing.
それはまさか魔女の碑文。
Yep, here we go again. There was no mistake. It was the epitaph that accompanied the portrait of the witch Kinzo had put on display. The relatives had guessed that it referred to the location of the hidden gold, but no one knew what it meant for sure. The witch suddenly began reciting that epitaph. I think it's a bit of a facade, if you
か
will.
の家具である貴様なら金蔵から聞いていよう。すべてを黄金鏡へ返す日がやってきたのだ。
Oh yeah, sacrifice time.
喜ぶがいい。お前の恥辱にまみれた家具の日々がようやく終わる時がやってきたのだ。
Okay, so he's literally being told, you're going to die.
お前はそれをずっ と望んできたはず。自らに存在価値を持たぬ家具にとって、ただ存在するだけの日々は苦痛に他ならない。魂ある者にとって、うつしおは固執すべきものだが、亡き者にとってうつしおは、
Complicated expressions flitted across Kunun's face. This was the day of release that Kunun had been looking forward to. However, the coming of this day had been mercilessly sudden, and for some reason he didn't like the hateful tone used by this witch as she informed him of the coming of this long-awaited day of rest. Kunun could not even decide what emotion he should be feeling. I don't know, I guess, okay, you've always wanted a form of freedom, whether that be through death or like literally having, freedom, whatever that means. And you just got told, yep, today's the day, I'm gonna kill you. How would you feel, honestly? If you had that already pre-existing mindset, how would you feel afterwards? It wouldn't be fear, would it? Would it?
それとも、うつしおに何かの未練があるというのか？家具の分際で。
未練などない。僕は家具だから。
Yep, all he is in the end of the day, I suppose.
貴様は実に模範的な家具だな。よいよい。しかし、何の未練もないとはつくづく面白みのない。
未練こそがお前の快楽だというのか。
Yeah, she's in it for the drama.
その通り。1000年も生きると大抵の魔女は生き飽きる。わらわは退屈から逃れるために人間たちの運命にブランデーや果実を練り込み、ケーキのように焼き上げるのだ。オーブンの中で苛烈な運命に踊る人間たちのなんと面白きこと。
Wait, hold on. I'm curious about that last line there. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. The term oven just doesn't bode well.
わらわはこの方面にかけてはちと知られていてな。わらわの料理の腕を見に、時には遠方から珍客が見物に来ることすらあるくらいよ。言っても家具ごときには理解できぬか。
Kunun could not understand what the witch was saying. I can't understand what many people in this game are fucking saying. I predict one thing or have an idea about something and that gets thrown out the window in the next video. However, he fully realized that this was a terrifying being who treated the fate of humans as a show, enjoying it whenever some harm befell them. However, furniture has no soul or life, much less a fate. Pitiful furniture does nothing but serve until the day they're released from the real world. To furniture like that, the witch, who had come to release them from everything, was a being to be received with overflowing affection. Even though the day Kunun should have been waiting impatiently for had come, he was confused by his own inability to accept it easily. Why was it? The face of Shanun, the person he loved as a sister, rose to his mind, and for some reason Jessica's face did too. Kunun bit his lower lip hard enough that it hurt. Thinking about Jessica like that was something furniture must never do. Even though he had thought he'd known that, even though he had complained about Shanun's relationship, why was it that Jessica rose into his mind at a time like this? You're figuring some stuff out here, a little bit of a human side here to Kunun. He felt a little shameful at his own naivety. And to forget about Jessica, he turned his thoughts to Shanun. Shanun is also furniture, even so she thinks she isn't. She has no reason not to rejoice at the coming of the day when all will return to nothingness. But Shanun, through her relationship with George, has experienced an emotion forbidden to furniture. Even though she isn't qualified to be bonded with him, she's still trapped in a dream that she isn't allowed to have. Will Shanun be able to joyfully accept this development? No, she won't. Shanun still has lingering regrets. Those will probably become a great source of pain and torture for her. And those lingering regrets were planted by none other than this witch. Yeah, she set it up. She set it up. She's going to be the first to die. And George is going to be in pain for it. So all this work, everything that Shunun put herself through to work with the witch, and she's going to be one of the first to die if we go in the direction of episode 1. Why? Because that would be more interesting and nothing more.
シャノンは待ちわびていたはずの日に知ってはならない感情を持ち、とても辛い思いを強いられるだろう。僕たち家具を解放する日を手土産に訪れてくれたあなたに感謝する。そしてシャノンにその日を受け入れがたくしたお前を憎む。
Hey, at least he's honest.
お前もシャノン同様に未練に苦しませてやりたかったぞ。しかしお前は愚直に家具であり続け、わらわに籠絡されることもなかった。
Oh, lucky him.
しかしシャノンを慕いすぎたようだな。シャノンの未練がそなたの未練となる。それはわらわへの憎悪へと変わるのか？
I think that's already kind of transformed into a bit of hatred. And that's also something that's going to come of this. Because now when Shunun dies, again, if this goes the episode 1 route, Kanun will know deep down, yes, he needs to feel hatred for the pain that has now been set across to not only Kanun, to George, and Shunun now has to sit by and idly watch as everything falls apart, all of that hard work. All the feelings, all of that, now nothing. All gone. Oh, that would be pointless.
金蔵の家具ならばその程度の力は持っていよう。しかしわらわを殺せば家具どもに安息の日は永遠に訪れぬぞ。そなたにそれが耐えられるのか？わらわによる解放を本当に拒むことができるのか？ひざまずけ。
何を？
ひざまずき。
Oh,
わらわの靴に口づけをするがよい。
we're getting into some kinky ass shit. God
さ
damn.
もなくばわらわはこの場を立ち去ろうぞ。帰りて永遠に姿を現さぬ。
Oh, he just literally has a simple choice here. He doesn't have to kill anybody. He doesn't have to fight back. Instead, he has a choice. Listen to her, do what she says, and, well, everybody's gonna die. Or don't, and nobody gets that freedom, quote unquote.
のう、そなたはそれに耐えられるのか？
There's no winning for him here because that freedom is something that he wants. He wants that release. He wants to die. He wants, you know, the life of the furniture or life of furniture that he's had to live to go away. And that should be the same for Shunun as well. But now she has something to hold on to. There's no winning here. There's going to be pain on both sides.
黄金鏡の扉が開かれればそなたの苦難に満ちた家具の生は終わろう。望むならば人間としての生を与えてもよい。さすればもはやジェシカとは対等。
Oh, she's trying to fucking still rope him in with Jessica.
貴様も知りたいはずだ。恋隠そうとも知っておるぞ。甘き恋の沼にて溺れるシャノンを見てそなたは羨ましがっている。恋の味を知りたくてうずうずしておるのよ。
やめろ。やめろ。僕を再び籠絡するつもりか。
Yeah, duh.
僕は
Come on.
お前を楽しませるため
Little
の
obvious.
おもちゃになり果てたりしない。
ほう。ならばシャノンで満足するとしよう。蒔いた種はそなただけではないのでな。時には実を結ばぬ果実もある。鍵を手にせし者は以下に従いて黄金鏡へ旅立つべし。第一の番に鍵の選びし6人を生贄に捧げよ。第二の番に残されし者は寄り添う2人を引き裂け。
Yeah, let's see if I remember the order of which things went here. Obviously, it's Shunun, it's Kraus, it's Battler's parents. Shoot. who were the other two? Goda and holy shit, I'm blanking on her name. Rosa. Damn, we had a crazy past couple videos with her and I forgot her name. Okay, so those are the first 6 that she decided to choose. And then the next 2 were, and I feel like this was a given. Like we've all gone through a murder mystery once or twice in our lives. Yeah, they were set up to be the next ones to go out. Hideyoshi and Ava. Like, honestly, that was completely stupid. The witch recited the epitaph again. It was so sudden and diverged so strongly from the current topic. However, that challenging smile made it seem almost as though she was using that epitaph as a threat against Kanon.
わからぬか。この碑文の儀式を成し遂げるには、第2の晩に寄り添う2人を生贄に捧げねばならぬ。
Oh, okay. Wait, maybe something happened that could not allow for the two of them to go out as the second Twilight. So Shannon had to die in the first Twilight.
寄り添う2人は誰でもよい。夫婦でもよいし。
I mean, yeah, there's some
恋
choices
人
here.
同士でもよい。
There's definitely some choices here.
誰を選ぶかは儀式のルールにのっとり、わらわが気まぐれに決めてよいことになっている。今のシャノンなら、これほどふさわしい第二の番の生贄もないとは思わぬか？
I mean, if she had to choose a way to go out, I guess that's the romantic way to go out.
卑劣な。
Yeah, call her a bitch, Conan. Do it. Conan realized something. Until today, he had thought he had given up everything else and lived as furniture, acting like furniture. But in reality, that wasn't true. He loved Shannon too dearly. Therefore, when Shannon was in pain, Conan shared in that. If only Shannon had continued to live as furniture. Indifferently like Conan, without any regrets in this world, he wouldn't have had to be in so much pain. The witch planned to toy with Shannon, who had known the taste of love. No, whom she had taught the taste of love as she killed her. She wouldn't be welcomed into the Golden Land and granted a compassionate release. Instead, if the witch had her way, she'd be used as a sacrifice, subjected to the utmost of torture and pain, and forcibly turned into a human foundation for this evil ceremony. And this witch would probably make Shannon meet this horrible fate, for no reason other than that it was amusing to her. Furthermore, she was threatening to do this so that she could make Kanun, who had never submitted to the witch, finally give in. It was that simple. In the end, though he had tried to resist the witch and avoid pleasing her, he had only made things more amusing for her. After all, he was furniture. No, a toy. They were nothing but toys meant only to distract her from her boredom. And she doesn't like to be bored. That was in her bio or whatever.
ひざまずけばシャノンを生贄に選ぶことを控えんこともないぞ。
Oh, Kanon, trust, don't do it.
お前のような玩具を一度屈服させてみたかった。
Hey, remember that silly prediction I had of Beatrice not being the evil one? No, she's pretty evil, honestly. She is twisted. Without even a fragment of elegance, the witch sneered at Kanun and laughed indecently. That's right. She had predicted Kanun's submission even before he had made that decision himself. Kanun chose to get down on both knees in front of the witch. It didn't matter what happened to himself. However, the one thing he couldn't bear to see was Shannon, who had given him his only reason to live during his days as furniture, being toyed with like this. That was why kissing the shoes of the witch was an easy oath for Kanun to make. When his quivering lips actually touched the witch's shoe, Beatrice let a look of ecstasy rise to her face. God damn, this is a weird-ass kink she has going on here. Then laughed with a voice filled to bursting. At that moment, the witch, who had grown bored of life after 1,000 years, was completely filled with the evil emotion that she lived for. I don't know why we had that as our bit of scenery there. Well, we know people are gonna die, that's for certain. That's not gonna change. When lunch ended, the relatives moved to the parlor. Rosa had bought a high-class brand of black tea from a famous store in Ginza. That had been served, and the parlor was filled with a pleasant aroma. Since the children were there too, the adults tried to interact like normal relatives on the surface, talking peacefully about recent events and how their children were growing up. It had started raining, so the children couldn't do anything but sit here like this watching TV, unable to go outside. Maria was apparently a TV kid. Was that actually a terminology back then? I wonder. Obviously, nowadays we've heard the term iPad kid or iPhone kid, or it's mostly iPad kid or tablet kid or something along those lines, because they're always glued to a touchscreen device of some variety playing, some sort of mobile game or whatever. Or, spending their parents' credit card unknowingly or knowingly in a gacha game. I don't fucking know. Regardless, I've definitely heard that term a lot, and it's very scary. So she's a TV kid, and she kept watching a boring daytime program without getting bored, giggling all by herself. When I was younger, I used to love watching TV, just having it on in the background. But back then, I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a tablet. I didn't really even have a computer for the longest time, like an actual personal PC for me. So yeah, I didn't really get to enjoy the luxuries of other, growing popular technology and shit. So TV was all I had, and nowadays I don't really watch it. At first, Battler joined in, seeming to deepen his relationship with Maria, but he had gotten up early that morning and was gradually hit by a wave of drowsiness. Better get your rest now, honestly.
おや、大きなあくびだね。朝がずいぶん早かったんじゃないのかい？
ま、そんなとこだよ。緊張が解けて、雨の音を聞いてるうちに眠くなってきちまった。
緊張？あんだけ態度でかそうにしてて、緊張なんてしてたのかよ。
Oh yeah, he had a rough time getting over here. Battler gave another great yawn and slowly lay down on the sofa. He really did look tired. You guys know that whole, I don't know if it's necessarily like a myth or anything. There's got to be some science behind it, where if someone near you, or if you see somebody yawn or whatever, you get the feeling that you need to yawn yourself. You might not even be tired, but it's a reaction of some sort, and a lot of people get it. And they don't realize that they're doing it because somebody around them had just yawned. Any of you guys yawning yet? He really did look tired. George and the others had tried talking to him, thinking it was a sign of boredom. But when they realized he really was sleepy, well, they decided to let him be.
おやおや、食事の後にすぐ横になるとサバになると申しますよ。
God damn, guys, I love that laugh.
冗談よせやい。ゴーダさん、今夜は子牛のステーキだって言ってたぜ。サバのステーキになっちまう。
熊沢さん、こいつ本当に眠いらしい。毛布を持ってきてあげてくれないかな。
さあ、どうぞ。
Kumasawa brought a blanket over from the shelf. The large parlor wasn't cold, but the air had gotten a little chilly. So when Battler took the blanket, he immediately wrapped himself up in it like a turtle.
本当に眠かったんだね。何時かに起きる？起こしてあげるよ。
いや、特に希望は。なんか用があったら起こしてくれりゃいいし、なんにもねえんならずっと眠らせてくれりゃいいぜ。おやすみ。
God damn, I wish I could just sleep for a, unknown period of time.
こらマリア、バトラは眠いんだから放っておいてあげなきゃ。熊沢さん、もう一枚毛布をもらえるかな。
It was doubtful whether Maria really wanted to take a nap. She probably saw Battler wrapped up in a blanket and wanted to do the same. When she received the blanket from Kumasawa, she joyfully wrapped herself up in it and set up camp in front of the TV.
せっかく6年ぶりにいとこがみんな揃ったってのによ。こいつ今回の親族会議の主賓だって自覚全然ねえな。
Oh, he's not the main guest
聞
anymore.
こえてるぞ。舞台袖でおとなしくしてるに限るってわけさ。
自分の人生はいつだって自分が主人公だろ。
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
そんな脇役根性でどうすんだよ。自分から進んで舞台に上がらなきゃ。
I don't even think I'm the main character in my own life. I'm a side character. I don't know who the main character
今
is.
は俺の出番じゃねえって言いたいのさ。悪いな。眠くて思考がめちゃくちゃだ。勘弁してくれ。
I wonder what's got him so tired in this rendition of the story.
確かに眠くてなんだか尻滅裂なことを言ってるね。もうそっとしてあげようよ。
私は聞き捨
I've
て
done
な
that
らねえ
too.
ぜ。
Just, you know, try to stay awake long enough and I just start saying really, like, hard to explain or understand or even reason about shit.
ちょっとそのあたり本格的にバトラーと議論したいけどな。
寝ぼけてるだけだよ。深く考えちゃダメさ。
なんかさ、自分は主役になれないから舞台に上がりたくないみたいな根性、なぜだか。
With distant eyes, Jessica gazed out the window at the gray rose garden obscured by rain. When she put her forehead up against the glass, the pleasantly cool sensation seemed to chase away memories that she was trying to forget.
まだ君の出番じゃなかったってことなのか。
Ooh, what is she talking about?
じゃあいつ君は
She talking about
舞台に上
Kanon?
がるんだよ。
In that case, who the heck is the main character on this stage? I don't know. Battler is definitely taking a back seat, which is okay. There's more things going on, obviously.
もうやりたい放題じゃねえかよ。なんだこりゃよ。
That's what I want to know.
めちゃくちゃじゃねえか。
そなたがわらわを否定する根拠とする18人だの19人だのという理論が実に滑稽だったのでな。
She really did do herself as a self-insert character in this story.
指し手を変えてみたまでよ。そなたがわらわを否定する最大の根拠は単にわらわが駒としてゲーム盤に並ばなかったからというだけのこと。ならばこうしてクイーンを先に指せばいいだけの話ではないか。
Hey, at least we're back to
初手にてク
chess.
イーンに道を開けるわ。
俺が必ずしのぐ。必ず詰める。言い訳なんてされたくねえ。存分に来やがるってんだ。
Oh, I love it.
まだまだこの程度じゃ。そうさ。さっきマリアのお菓子を魔法で直したように見えたが、実は同じお菓子をもう一つ懐に忍ばせていて、
Damn,
芝居がかった
he's really
方法
trying
で
to
すり替
apply
えて
logic even here.
あたかも魔法で直したみたいに見せただけかもしれない。ああ、そうさ、そうに決まってる。ダメだぜ。全然ダメだぜ。
ほほう。ローザは歌詞が蝶に散る瞬間を見たぞ。
Yeah, yeah, magic tricks.
知らねえよ。そんなのは幻覚か手品か。さもなきゃ見間違いだろ。
Yeah, Rosa had a whole lot of other things going on, to be honest.
説明のつかぬ部分はさまつと切り捨てたか。
Yeah, you really can't pick and choose when it comes to this sort of
そ
stuff.
れがそなたの受け手であるな。墓穴を掘ったぞ。後宮バトラー。お前の手番はまだ先だぞ。もうしばらくわらわの手番を進めさせてもらう。まだまだこれからだぞ。魔女の手番は。
Turn of the witch, huh? What is it? The turn of the battler whenever he wakes up? This is interesting, though. It's like they're manipulating the story but trying to keep it going along the same path it did in the first go-around. What will Battler try to do whenever it's his turn to try and correct things and make things make a little bit more sense? When they started hearing Battler's snores, the relatives went their separate ways, leaving the parlor and letting Battler sleep in silence. Even though it had been so lively in the parlor with so many people gathered there, when all of them scattered at once and were swallowed up by the vast mansion, It created an eerie silence with no sound except that of the rain. Good job, buddy. But now what?
いいや、そんな人間には一度も会ったことはないぜ、兄貴は。
会ったことなんてないわ。キリエさん、本当なの？
Oh, they're talking about the witch.
私もちょっと玄関ホールに出た時に挨拶をしただけです。20歳ちょっとくらいに見えたわ。私は名乗ったんだけど彼女は名乗らなかった。源氏さんに案内されて2階へ登っていくのを見たの。
なら源氏さんを見つけて直接話を聞いた方が早いやろ。
Yeah, honestly, Hideyoshi has the right idea.
しかし妙な雲行きになってきよったな。
The mystery woman had spoken to Kirie. Without naming herself, she had sneered that Kirie should have had a vague idea as to her identity. That brought someone to mind. And then there was her look-alike, the witch in the portrait. Again, not really sure about all that, but okay. I guess it's cool.
お父さんの財産管理人を名乗った場合の方や。
Oh yeah? We'll just wait till dinner time.
あるいは愛人の娘を自称して遺産の分配を要求するつもりかしら。
Oh, it's not a share she wants. She wants it all and then
とんで
some.
もないジョーカーが紛れ込んだものね。兄さんが呼んだの？それともお父様が？
まずいな。俺たちは兄貴をうまく言いくるめりゃなんとかできるものと思ってきた。
Not going well this time around, is
し
it?
かしこれじゃ
何しに現れたかわからへん以上撃てる対策も限られとるで。向こうの狙いは何なんや。
Oh, we know.
決まってるでしょ。お父様の遺産の正当な後継者だと言い張るためよ。
Well, not just the heir,
お
but
父
it's
様は
hers.
未だに
It's
ベ
her
アトリ
money.
ーチェの虜なのよ。その娘がいたなら全財産を譲りたいと言い出すはずだわ。
I know what they're trying to say here is that, yeah, she's actually a part of the family in some sort of way.
妙な遺言状でも突き
And
つ
that
け
she
てくるか
deserves
も
a
しれ
share
ない。
more than anybody else.
そりゃ裁判沙汰にすれば半
But
分の
that's not
4分の
it.
1は主張で
We
きる
know
かも
the
し
real
れない
deal
け
here.
ど多分
キリエさん、男の商売には攻めの時にこそ軍資金がいるようになることもあるんや。
And you really need funding in all cases,
それを分かって
especially
いな
when it comes to businesses.
なあにルドルフ。
俺たちの話を整理した上で敵の撃ってくる手が見えるか。
Oh, the plot thickens, especially for these guys more than anything. It's, again, the politics that we've seen before. Rudolph had a certain measure of trust in Kirie's unique thinking technique, chessboard thinking. Oh yeah, that's right, fucking spinning that shit upside down all around, doing the gritty Fortnite default dance on it. Of course, it didn't give him any more peace of mind than fortune telling. But every time Rudolph was polishing up some important strategy, he'd give a great deal of thought to Kirie's advice. For a while, Kirie pressed her finger against her forehead, considering.
今日の今日まで彼女が訪れることが伏せられていた以上。
Okay, as much as I want to get into her chessboard thinking, I don't know how long that's going to go on for. So I'm a little early, but we'll end it here on this one. I still don't really know what to think here, honestly. Oh, we're in chapter 6. I thought this was chapter 5. I think we're making really good ground, though. We're really chugging along now that I'm sitting down and recording a teeny tiny bit more per video. But it is definitely going to throw a wrench into this whole, politics sort of discussion that was honestly pretty interesting in learning about everybody's characters, or everybody's character personalities and what they had going on back in episode 1. Despite it being, the boring part of the story, it was pretty interesting. And now we're coming back to that with a wrench thrown into all of it, and that wrench is Beatrice's existence here in this altered story. She's not supposed to be here. They know about her to a degree here. They're trying to figure out what she could be after, but of course everything is bound to come to light very shortly, and so will the deaths, of course. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy.